Hey guys, today we're going to be testing out the EcoFlow Delta Max. This is a portable power station. It's got over 2,000 watt hours of power stored in here. It's going to be really handy to be able to use it if we have any power outages. Plus, it's super portable and I can use it basically as a generator anywhere on the property. So EcoFlow did reach out to me and they asked me whether I wanted to test out their power station. And honestly, I've really been wanting to do some type of a solar backup here on the property. I really want some way to be able to provide power and not have to burn gasoline in a generator. Gas is just getting so expensive nowadays. So I decided to look up EcoFlow, and what I found out is they're actually one of the top manufacturers in these portable renewable power stations. And these power stations provide a nice, clean, quiet, renewable energy source for you to use either in your house or outside or maybe even at work. And EcoFlow ends up making all different sizes. So they've got really nice small portable ones all the way up to these large whole home systems used to power your house. And after doing my research, I definitely knew this was a good company that I wanted to work with. So I said, yes, I'm definitely interested. So they did end up sending us this power station and this 160 watt solar panel for free for us to be able to try out here on our property. So this power station has three different types of power. So it has USB charging here on the front. It has the USB-A ports, it has the fast charging ports, and then it also has the USB-C ports. So on the back of this unit, it actually has 6 AC outlets here. And this can do 2,400 watts of continuous power. And if you turn on X boost mode, I think it'll do a continuous 3,500 watts of power. And then it can handle a 5,000 watt surge. So this thing can handle some pretty big appliances and tools. So on the bottom here you have 12 volt power, basically anything that you'd be able to use in your automobile. So you've got a 12 volt outlet here with 10 amps of power, and then you have two smaller 12 volt ports with 3 amps of power each. So on the very top back here are the plug-ins where you can charge the unit back up. So one of them is an AC plug-in. You can charge it by plugging it into the wall in your house, and you can charge this up and have it all ready to go for whenever you need it. It also has a DC plug-in as well, and right now we have it plugged into the solar panels, but you could also plug it into your vehicle and charge it as you're driving down the road, which would be great for people that are campers. And when you're driving to the next campsite, you can charge it up. It'll be ready when you get there. So the one thing I like about this power station is it's expandable. You can keep building it bigger. So on this side, there's 2 ports where you can add 2 smart batteries. So each smart battery is an extra 2,000 watts. So if you add both smart batteries, you end up with 6,000 watt hours of power stored for this power station. And then the solar, you can go all the way up to 800 watts of solar to charge this up. All right, so let's go ahead, we'll move on to testing. I've had this thing for a week already, and I've already done a bunch of tests on it. So my first test for the Delta Max was on our freezer out here in our pole barn. We grow a lot of our food. We got half a steer in this freezer, so we got over $500 worth of beef in here. We don't want to go bad during a power outage. So my first test was to just use the Delta Max by itself to see how long it could run the freezer on a single charge. All right. The freezer is still running, 0 degrees. We've been running for 25 hours and 35 minutes. That's crazy. And if you look at that, we're still at 32%. That is crazy. So you can see it's not plugged in. Definitely pretty cool. I could probably run this a day and a half. It's looking like about a day and a half I can run this freezer off of this EcoFlow Delta Max. So my second test was the power station with the 160 watt solar panel hooked up to it to keep it charged up. I wanted to see how long I could actually run the freezer with the solar keeping it charged. All right, I've got another test set up. I've got the 160 watt solar panel here on the picnic table, and I have that charging the EcoFlow Delta. I've got it hidden here behind the lawnmower, but so that's charging the power station, and the power station, I've got an extension cord going through the window, and it's powering the freezer. So I set this up about 4 o'clock last night. It's already after 6 o'clock tonight, so it's already been over 26 hours. And all I did was I just set the solar panel flat on the picnic table because I went to work today. Okay, so I couldn't move the solar panel around, so I just left it flat on the picnic table. Nice sunny day today, but even though I was at work, I actually I could monitor what was going on because the EcoFlow is on my Wi-Fi. It's on the Wi-Fi network, and I was able to pull it up on an app from work, and I could monitor the progress of how well it was charging. So on this app, I was able to see how much it's charging and how much it's also using, and what the total, how much battery percentage was left. And I was able to monitor that, and once the sun came out, it started charging the station back up, and it was able to charge it back up to 75%. And I think right now it is sitting at 74%, and for a little over 24 hours, I still have 74% charge left. I think that's pretty good. It was a sunny day today, but that tells me if I have good weather, good sunny weather, that I could probably, keep that freezer going for, 2-3 days, as long as it's summertime with a lot of sun. All right, so let's look at the front display real quick. So in the center, you have how much it's charged. So it's 100% charged right now. This bottom number is your output. It's putting out 5 to 6 watts right now, and all I'm doing is just charging my phone. And then right here, the top number is your input. This is how much wattage you have coming in from solar, or how much you're charging from a wall outlet. So right now it's not plugged into anything, so there's 0 input coming in. And then you have an estimated time until this is completely drained. And right now it says 99 hours, and I think that's the maximum that it says. Probably charging my phone, I'm gonna bet that that's gonna last a lot longer than that. So my next test, I wanted to see how I could use the power station inside of our house during a power outage. And that's the great thing about this, is you can bring this right inside your house and use it. A gas generator, you got to run outside. You're pulling extension cords through your windows inside or through your doors to be able to use stuff inside your house. It's really loud, it burns gas, but this is super quiet and you can use it anywhere. So I decided that I would try to see if I could cook a day's worth of meals using the power station, because cooking with electricity is probably one of the highest wattage things that you can do. So it would be a real good test to see how this did. So I started off and I decided I was going to cook me some waffles and some hash browns using a waffle maker and an air fryer. So after I got done with that, I decided that I would do a 1-pot meal in the Instapot. And I ended up using some Uncle Ben's rice. I threw some chunks of chicken in there, and I just put it on the rice setting for about 10 minutes and let it pressure cook. And then after that, I did have to kind of cook it and boil the water out of it for a few more minutes. So I probably used the Instapot for probably close to 20 minutes, but I had a 1-pot meal that was big enough for 2 people to eat. So after that, I figured the thing that most people would probably use would be the microwave. So I decided to plug in our microwave back there. That's a pretty big microwave, and I was pulling somewhere between 1,600 to 1,800 watts off of that microwave. A lot bigger load than what I thought it was going to be. And I ended up running the microwave for 15 minutes. I just heated up a bunch of water and just to test it out, and that would simulate probably, cooking several meals in the microwave or snacks. And by the time that was all done, I think I was still around 51% charge on the power station. Well, I just got done trying to cook all the meals for the day, and right now I think we're sitting about 50% on the EcoFlow. So I've decided to see what else I could just power up. So I've got my phone charging here on the USB, I've got my flashlight charging, and then I've got a lantern charging as well. And then I strung out some extension cords. I've hooked up the satellite internet, so the Starlink internet is hooked up. And then I also got the TV streaming. Got a little Farmer Tyler Ranch playing back here on the TV. And so we've got our entertainment, we've got our flashlight and lights, everything, devices powering up. And it says right now, with 50% left, we ought to have, looks like we should have at least 4 hours of run time of running the internet and the TV and all of that. So let me go ahead and turn off these devices. We'll stop charging them. So I turned off the USB. And I guess if I was just running the Starlink internet and the TV to watch something, it looks like we would have at least 5 hours of time to watch. So I went ahead and I've turned the TV set off now. The EcoFlow is down to 48% battery charge left. And it says we can run the Starlink internet for about 15 to 16 hours. So if you were just looking for pure entertainment and everybody was using their mobile devices, you definitely could have internet for a long time just running the satellite internet. Now I'm going to go ahead and charge the EcoFlow back up. You can see we're at 49%. We are charging about 1700 watts, and it's going to take only 49 minutes to charge this back up. So that's a very quick charge time. So my next test is going to be testing it as a portable generator. I'm going to try some of the biggest tools I have and see if it'll power them up, see if I can use them. So I've got the 160 watt solar panel set up here, charging the EcoFlow, and its carrying case actually clips to it. Helps hold it up to face the angle of the sun. And then we're going to be testing some of our big tools. So I've got a big 7-inch angle grinder here. That thing's a monster. I've got the Evolution chop saw. We'll cut up some metal. Well, that was just a quick test to see if the EcoFlow could power a few of my hand tools, and it did the 7-inch angle grinder, and it did the metal chop saw just fine. So after all the testing, I think the EcoFlow Delta Max has done a good job. This is definitely going to be handy during a power outage for sure. And it's really not that heavy. I think this is like 48 pounds. I mean, that's a little bit heavy, but I mean, it's light enough that you can pick it up, you can throw it in your vehicle, you can take it anywhere. So I can use it anywhere on the property to power tools and to do some work. And you know what I think would be real handy is this would be really handy for campers. So we used to have a travel trailer. In fact, we lived in our trailer while we built our house. And we had that travel trailer, I think, for 15 years. And we'd always have to go to a campsite that had power so that we could run the water pump and so that we could have lights and all that stuff. So if we would have had one of these, I think this would have definitely opened up a whole new realm of possibilities for campsites. We could go to some of the more rustic campsites. We'd have a way to be able to provide power for our devices and for our camper that runs on 12 volts. You know, we could have plugged in the camper for 12 volts. And I think that would have been real handy. We could have definitely gone to a lot more different places than we did. I actually have an electronics degree, and this is just right up my alley. I really love the idea of having a solar backup here on the property. I've been wanting something for a while, and I think this is a great little system. It's a nice, powerful little system, and I'll probably look into adding a few more solar panels, see if I can get this up to the 800 watts of solar that you can put into this, and then I think I'll be able to last several days and power my fridge and freezers during that period just using solar, not having to buy gasoline to power a generator. Yeah, I think this is great. So especially for those short power outages, I won't have to burn fuel anymore. I can use this instead. So I do want to give a big shout out to EcoFlow. Thank you very much for sponsoring this video. Thanks for sending us the Delta Max power station and the 160 watt solar panel. Definitely going to come in handy out here, especially with the power outages that we sometimes have out here in the country. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put links to all the stuff in the description below. I'm going to give a link to EcoFlow's website, to the Delta Max power station, and the 160 watt solar panel. And EcoFlow does make several different sizes of these things. So if you're interested in like a solar power station, you might want to check them out. I'm sure they make a size that probably fits your needs. But I think that's it for today's video. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.